If you want to make 100K before the end of the year, even if you're starting from zero, you need to copy this strategy. This is the exact playbook I use to help my coaching client Timmer close 8 deals and collect $112,000 in 6 weeks. But I have to warn you, if you follow this like he did, people will literally accuse you of faking your revenue screenshot. So if you want to change your bank account before the end of this year, follow this and take notes. Step number 1, design your model. Your business model is a profit engine. You pick the wrong one and you work for forever. Pick the right one and every sale throws off cash. Most people can't grow their business because the business model they chose keeps them stuck. It's kind of like having a compass versus a map. You could have all the will, the energy, the desire, and you're moving forward. You have all the strength, that's the compass. But without the right map, you literally can't find where you're trying to go. Your business model is the map. So here's exactly how you design your business model. The first thing is you have to price it for the outcome, not your hours. The best businesses don't charge for their time, they charge for their outcomes. Meaning if you have a team eventually, they're the ones delivering what you sold. That way you stay out of it, because if not, you bottleneck yourself to be able to grow. Then productize your service. People always go, you can't scale a service company. Guess what? You can. Go look at the Fortune 500 companies. Many of them are services, but they're productized services. They sat down and said, here's the problem we solve. Here's our solution. How do we structure it? Everybody buys the same thing. Essentially, it's one promise. It's productized service. It's systematized. Have you ever been to a restaurant where you open up their menu and there's 17 different types of food? I'm talking Italian, American, Chinese, all of it. That is a really hard business to scale. You want to pick one thing that people want, and then you either do a done for you, meaning they pay you and you do the whole thing, or a done with you, meaning they pay you and you help them implement with them. Either or is productized because they're still buying that one thing from you every time. You niche down to the product and then you go find the customers that want that exact same thing every time. Otherwise, every new customer adds a ton of complexity and you'll never be able to scale. Lastly, sell to rich customers. Small businesses are small because they can't find more valuable customers. The idea of selling things to rich people is one of the simplest ways for you to scale. And you think, well, how do I do that? Because I don't know any bigger companies. Trust me, just ask. You literally just message them and say, hey, do you guys have this problem? Here's what I do. We do logo design. Do you have a portfolio? Here it is. Perfect. We're actually working on a new product. We need a logo for it. That's how it works. The mid-market customer is so much better to sell to than the small business customer, because small businesses value money more than time. And if you're selling to them, they're going to haggle you for the dollars. They're going to have unrealistic expectations for the little amount of money that they're willing to pay to have that problem solved. Whereas a rich customer, one that's bigger, a mid-market, they have no problem. They'll just pay you up front. You could say, hey, it's 50% deposit. They're like, yeah, that sounds good. Because they value time and quality over money. So it could be everything from logo design and then making sure that you implement it into their social media. It could be AI automation and making sure that they have support in case they want to tweak or change anything you built for them. It could be implementing a software tool to make a team more productive and then them paying you more so that you coach and train their team for the rest of the year. It's the service you sell plus the coaching or the support. That's what makes it more valuable. So if you want to make 100K before the end of 2025, take the concept of a productized service plus some coaching to support them. And now you can sell your service between 10,000 to 12,000 in the first transaction, meaning you only need 8 to 10 clients and you're there. That's one client per month. And if you did that, you'd crush your goal. Now that your product's locked in, it's time to design your offer. Step 2, build a one-page offer. Your offer is not your website. It's not even what you say you sell. It essentially should be distilled into one page that sells the result. People want to buy your transformation. They don't want to buy your product. You think all the bells and whistles is what makes them impressed? No, they want to hear that the problem they have and your benefits to your product is what they're buying. How clear is the value? How believable is it? Did you put credibility indicators? That offer sheet has to sell the person without you saying a word. If you do this right, and I'll teach you how, it's a game changer for revenue. Think about the perceived brand. Do you want to be a fine dining restaurant that comes across as like refined and high value, and the experience and people that you're selling to don't care about the price because they're there for the quality? Or do you want to be IHOP, right? Where you sell literally volume of sugary crap that takes a lot of people in the back kitchen to figure out, and your menu is about 17 times larger? Less options when you're starting and you want to scale fast, it reduces confusion and it makes buyers buy easier because there's no other options. Here's my rule. A confused mind never buys. If you ask me what I do and I say, well, it depends, guess what? You lost me. If I ask you what you do and you say, we design the best logos in the world for small businesses, well, that's cool because I'm a small business and I hate my logo. See how clear that is? A confused mind never buys. You have to make what you sell crystal clear. For example, Timmer, who was having a hard time trying to sell his marketing services because essentially he was saying, we do marketing help. All we did was change it to, we guarantee a 30% increase in AI search result rankings in 90 days or your money back. Same skills, clear promise, and he closed a 12K client in 48 hours. So here's how you create this one-page offer for yourself. First off, we have to agitate the pain and create a promise. Think about it in a sales conversation. Are you ever worried your team's gonna make a mistake that's gonna cost you more money than you pay them annually to have them employed? See what I did there? I agitate the pain. The promise is the opposite of whatever that is. The promise is, what if you could hire anybody and have a system that they follow that would make it impossible for them to make a mistake? I'm asking another follow-up question that creates the promise. That is your offer sheet. The second part is we need a 3-step plan and milestones with dates to let the person know we got this. See, the more detailed the plan, the more you're communicating that you've done this before, you understand it, you're the expert, not their timeline, your timeline. That way they feel guided and supported. It doesn't matter if you sell modifications to high-end cars, plumbing, logo design, AI, SEO. This process applies to everyone. Having a 3-step plan and milestones with dates communicates you're an expert. And the reason we have a 3-step plan, not 17-step plan, is you want to make it easy. You want to make it simple. So lead with your best stuff. If you've got 17 things, pick the 3 that you think aligns with the pain and the promise and just put that in there. The rest of it, guess what? They'll discover it once they buy from you, which just makes them more excited because you undercommitted and then you over-deliver. Then we have to offer 2 options to buy. Why 2? Because we have to price anchor the actual offer. One option is going to be really expensive. The reason why? It makes the thing you actually want to sell seem like a steal. So for example, if you sell a $10,000, $12,000 item, go 5 times more. Let's say it's $100,000. So you sell a $100,000 product, you sell a $100,000 offer or service, and it's more than what they really need. Or we have this other option, that's your second option, which is all the things they wanted. That becomes the no-brainer offer. Whereas the really highly priced one is very a la carte, very white glove, very custom. And most people are like, look, I get that sounds really fancy and attractive, but I'm okay paying this price because it's actually what we need. That's more scalable. That one is there just to make this one seem cheap. So for example, my brother sells homes. When he presents the home, let's say the home he wants to sell them is $1 million, he presents the $3 to $4 million home where the furnishings are literally from Europe and the yard is like a $500,000 build out of landscaping and the doors are made with mahogany. And you see what I'm saying? He goes, I have that option, which I think could be really interesting. I don't really know if you're willing to stretch your budget that much, but then we have essentially what you asked us to do. And that price is only $1 million. See, it's only $1 million. And $1 million is not cheap. So it's only $1 million because it's the second option that makes the $3 to $4 million just anchored this one a lot better. You can apply this to any business and you will get more sales for your actual product that you want to sell just by having a price anchor. And then last but not least, you have to have a call to action in your offer so that it is easy for somebody to say yes. You could have a checkout page that goes to a deposit and make it really simple. Again, my brother sells houses. On his iPad, there's a button. They click the button. It goes into a credit card form with the client. They put in the credit card details to put their deposit to lock in their home. Even though the home has to go to the bank and get the mortgage approved and all that stuff, there's a $5,000 non-refundable deposit that just sets a commitment. Too often, I see entrepreneurs talk to somebody. They say, I love it. I'm in. I want to do this. And then they go, cool. I will follow up with an email, with a proposal, and then we can talk next week to make sure that we set up your payment. And then all of a sudden they get ghosted because the person in the moment was ready to do the thing and then they went back to their life and got busy. If you just do the call to action in the offer doc to make it simple for somebody to say yes, you will make money. If you want my exact one-page offer template that I've used to sell tens of millions of dollars, just click the link in the description and I'll send it over. So now that your offer is dialed, it's time to talk to people. Step number 3, talk to strangers. I know your parents said don't talk to strangers. I'm telling you, talk to a lot of strangers. Why? Because the more hands you shake, the more money you make. Today, it's never been easier than ever to make money if you just talk to people. There's almost 2 billion people on the internet connected over this thing called social media that you can use to get in front of people to chat with them. I've personally sold over $3 million in 11 months on Instagram, DMing people on the back of my boat. I still do it today. I love to chat with people in the DMs. If you message me on Instagram, guess what? I'm gonna reply. Is this Dan AI? No, this is Dan. Why do you do this then? You have so many followers. I just like people. I like seeing if I can be helpful. I'm really good at it. I ask the right questions. I get clarity. Most people don't like to waste my time. And guess what? I have a team that monitors, and if somebody wants to drag their feet and not be responsive, it gets kicked over to them. So I don't mind, but it is me in the DMs. Please don't overcomplicate this. I mean, the other day I was with my buddy Mike and we're having dinner and I just was like, bro, just send 100 DMs. Here's the format, just send it. And he sent those DMs and he closed 6 clients in 72 hours. No calls, all over chat with a Stripe link. Now I know you're thinking, I can't do that in my industry. I have coached 4,000 people to do it in every industry. Every small business, every big business, mid-market, enterprise, SMB. It's how people want to buy today because they don't even want to get on a call. Scheduling a call to have a conversation when they're already in the DMs. You are in your Facebook Messenger. You're in your email. You're in your text messages. You're in your Instagram DMs. Your clients are also there. Talk to them. So here's how we sell by chat. The first thing, golden rule, can't skip it, never miss it, opens. Always chat with the people that follow you. I call it an open because it's an open-ended question. They follow you, you message them. Are you here for the content or are you looking to grow your business? That's what I ask them because that's what I help people do. The key is you always end on the thing you want to help them with. Are you here for the videos? Are you looking for help with your kids? Are you here for the content? Are you looking to add mods to your car? Are you here for the funny stuff? Or are you looking to buy your first home? No, actually, I just talked to you in the hallway at this event and I just wanted to say hi. Oh, Bob, how's it going? Let me know if you ever decide to buy a house. Until then, great to have you as a follower. It sounds so simple. People don't do it and they're sitting on piles of money in their followers. I had a fitness guy, had over 1 million followers and could not afford to quit his job. He was working a day job. He was passionate about fitness. He was sharing videos and he couldn't bring himself to quit his job because he didn't know how to make money. I said, have you considered just talking to the followers? He said, what would I say to them? And I taught him this. Well, he spent the next 3 days, I think he almost got divorced because he was just in love chatting with people. It never occurred to him. So then we have to qualify them. We have to ask questions to let us know, are they the right fit for us? My rule when I'm trying to sell something is I don't even know if I can help you. That's the frame. So can I ask you a few questions? Of course. Tell me where you're at right now. If I sell business coaching, tell me about your revenue. What about your team? What's the impact you're trying to have? Then the third part is I need to know what their goal is. What are their goals? What are they looking to accomplish? I always like to use a 12-month or a 1-year focus. Then I'll just ask them in a year, what are your targets around revenue, team, kind of the impact you want to have? One of my favorite questions to ask is, imagine we were getting together in 1 year and we're meeting up at your favorite restaurant and we were celebrating the past year because we worked together and you just got a lot of stuff done. What would we be celebrating? That's just a fun, assumptive, forward-looking question to get somebody already on board with actually working with you. You can use it for logo designs and HVAC and selling homes. This applies to everything. Then we have to go to the gap. The whole point of a sale, it only happens in the gap. The gap between feeling the pain they're feeling today about not doing anything and the promise that you sold and what it could feel like. When you get them connected to the pain and then you stretch the gap to what they want, the possibility, their vision, their future, that's called the buying zone. The center is where the sale happens. Some people might come in and they're overconfident about their abilities to solve the problem themselves. So you got to ask them questions that get them over here. Some people are underconfident. You got to build them up. You do that with questions. The right question moves the person closer to the buying zone, stretches the gap, and that is where the sale is made. These are the 3 quick rules that I always tell my clients to follow. Number 1, short messages. Essentially, Chat as if you're a teenager and it's just short and sweet. Nobody wants to read paragraphs. They want to just interact and scan. So always end with a question so that you keep the communication flowing. I like to aim for about like 9 messages before I drop the offer, meaning 9 back and forth. So really diving in, seeing if I can even be helpful, giving them examples of other people we worked with just like them. And the last one is we have to test the commitment. Asking somebody over chat on a scale of 1 to 10, is this a now thing or a later thing? And they go, yeah, it's probably a later thing. Perfect. Go back to the pain. Try to quantify it. Have them communicate. What would that mean to your life if you continue to make the decision you're in right now? Too often, people aren't willing to really help the person get clarity around the impact that not changing is having on their life. And it's in the lack of you willing to do that that loses you the opportunity to serve the person. And you think, well, it's not really my business to tell them or ask them that stuff. No, it actually is. You have to act differently. You have to test the commitment. And if you want to do this before the next 6 weeks, you're going to have to go pro, no amateur hour. Short messages and always end with a question. So now that they're leaning in, it's time to get them to buy. Step number 4, make the offer. All the money in the world is made in the offer, and more specifically, the follow-up. That's where the fortunes are. Like most people make an offer and then they just like let the person ghost them. No. Think about it. Pizza is best served hot. See, you know that. If you wait too long, nobody wants it. We want to get it to them when it's hot and you don't want to delay. And your inability to ask for the deal is what's causing the issue. The other day I was talking to my buddy. He had 2 people he was talking to. One person, he said, here's the 2 options I've got with a checkout link, and he got ghosted. The other client he talked to, he said, here are the 2 options with the checkout link. Followed up after 30 minutes. Question mark. Followed up 60 minutes. Client paid in full that day. What's the difference? People get busy. Help them solve the to-do list problem by just being on top of it. Your inability to want to feel pushy is stopping you from serving people. Fortunes are made in the follow-up. The first part, it's a 1-pager. It's got everything in there. It talks about the pain, it makes it irresistible, it's clear, it's got the checkout link, and it's got the packages and the price. Again, don't forget, you can download my template below in the description. Just click the link and I'll send it over to you. But that we have to have. The second part is what I call a 2-part close. Once I send it to them, I send it and I say, let me know if you have any questions, or if you're in, just reply in. Because the second part is the assumptive close, and I always want to end on that. If they have questions, we'll ask the questions. But changing your language will increase your close rates by just with the confidence you're assuming they're going to move forward. The final part is the follow-up ladder. Write this down. We want to go 30 minutes, question mark, 60 minutes, are you still there? The next morning, just wanted to bump this. 24 hours, did something happen? 3 days, did I do something wrong? 7 days, did I just get ghosted? Now, I like to be playful and fun in my follow-up, so you can do whatever you want, but go 30, 60, next morning, 24 hours, 3 days, 7 days, and you will close more deals. Now, if they pay you, you can just skip to step 6, but if they don't, it's time to overcome some objections. Step 5, overcome objections. Now, here's something powerful to understand. If you bring up their objections before they do, it's called an obstacle. It's way easier to deal with an obstacle than an objection. And you do it early, you're qualifying them. So that's why we say test the objection. For example, have you put a budget aside for X result? Have you talked to your business partner about this? Having all the things you know they bring up in the objections early on negates it so they can't use it later. Do you understand how powerful that is? But if it does show up after, here's how to overcome those objections. These are the objections you hear all the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I want to do it myself. I need to talk to my partner. I got to think about it. Not now. Or they ghost you. This is where selling actually starts. So here's my framework for overcoming any objections. The first step is to acknowledge. They say, it's too expensive or I can't afford it. You say, makes sense. I'd ask the same. Totally fair. It's non-combative. Do not push back and say, actually, it's really cheap. Don't say stuff like that. Literally say, totally hear you. That's fair. I'd ask the same thing. You dissolve them pushing back on you. Step 2 is you isolate the objection. Oftentimes they'll say it's this when it's actually something else. So I like to go, beside this, is there anything else in the way? That way you get rid of all the game of whack-a-mole of objections they could play, and we isolate the one. If they list more than one, pick the real one. Which matters most? Step 3 is to clarify. When you say that, the money, the time, wanting to do it yourself. What do you actually mean? Now, I know you might think you know what they mean, but just sit back and let them answer. Get the simple facts. I'm not debating with them. I want to hear what they mean by that statement. Step 4 is the reframe to the outcome, right? So I might say something like, well, the goal you mentioned is this outcome by this date. That's why we do it this way. Wouldn't this pay for itself? And then you ask them and they go, yeah, I guess it would pay for itself. Perfect. Step 5 is offer a simple path. Give them 2 options, but tie it to the words they use, okay? It's called echoing the sale. The best way is you say this: here are 2 ways we could do this. Which feels right to you? Option 1, not spend any money and keep getting the same results. Again, echoing the words that they use when you say those results. Option 2, invest the money and make it back in 30 to 60 days. They're probably gonna say option 2. Perfect. Step 6 is close with a question. It's the assumptive close. Want me to drop the link? Should we lock in your spot? Assume they're ready to move forward. And then, shh. Silence is the ultimate closer. Get the deal, move on. Now with people buying, again, 6 weeks, 100K, it's time to deliver on your promise. Step 6, deliver with a system. System stands for save yourself time, energy, money, and stress. If you sell something and you want to scale it up fast, you have to make sure your fulfillment or your delivery is simple, easy, and repeatable. That way, client wins creates more sales. It kind of builds on itself. I remember a while ago, I was chatting with somebody on Instagram and they told me their process and it was messy. All they did was change their whole process into 5-step checklist that got the client a win in the first 7 days. And then that person wrote about it, which got them 2 more clients because they got the win early, because they had a checklist to get results. So here's how you systematize your delivery. These are literally the 5 easy steps that every business can use. The first one is we have to set up a kickoff call. A kickoff call after a purchase helps everybody feel good. You go over and you recommit what they want. You talk about how you're gonna deliver, and it's really for both people to get on the same page. Step 2 is gather all the inputs. Gather every asset, every piece of information you're gonna need to start the work to be successful. Don't gather it as you're moving along. Step 3 is you have to get it built. Ship the first deliverable, whatever you sold. As soon as you can get a client a win as fast as possible, ideally in 5 days, but commit to 7 so that you over deliver when you get it to them in 5. Step 4 is review. Every day, I want you to review with your team or yourself, how am I moving every client forward? If you do that every day, it will keep the momentum. Number 5 is you have to get them a real win. I talked about this in the first step, but I always think about when I get a new client is what's the time to first value, TTFV. And I can define that and essentially they feel it. As soon as they give me a win, guess what I do with that? I ask them if there's anybody else like them that I might be able to serve because I'm asking for a referral. Here's the way I like to ask. I say, hey, you've been getting great results so far. I appreciate you showing up as a great client. I have a question. Who are the 1 or 2 people that you feel would be a great fit for this program as well? It's not, do you have 1 or 2? It's literally, who are 1 or 2? That one little tweak in language will get you a ton of referrals. Whew, that was a lot. But that was exactly how I'd make 100K in 6 steps over the next 6 weeks. Now, I don't want you to just watch this, but actually take action. Write it down below. Make a commitment. What are you gonna sell? What's your offer? How are you gonna start having chats with people that could buy? Are you committed to always asking for the sale? Are you gonna do the work? Or are you just gonna use this as another thing that you feel like I've collected some knowledge, some shelf help, I feel good, but I put it on the shelf and it doesn't really help you? Let's not do that. I need you to actually implement what I just taught. One piece, one offer, do something. But this could be the next 6 weeks, your chance to make 100,000. And remember, if you want my 1-page offer template, it's below in the description. Just click the link and I'll send it over. And if you want to know how to 10x your business without adding any new clients, click here and I'll see you on the other side.